and there's still not a consensus on the homeless. So I was gonna save you from being put on the spot, but
No, please. That's
can
why we're
you
here.
enter your second term, if you are successful, can you build consensus in 14 cities and 2 towns to get this done, like you guys did the whole place?
Well, see, here's the thing about building consensus. Yeah, I'm trying to build consensus. That's why the county manager and I created the elected table, the elected round table. We brought in all 16 cities together. You're supposed to talk about the issue there. That's why we're there. Talk about it.
You guys did what?
We created the elected officials roundtable, put it in the airport, buy them lunch. We put them around the table and said, here's the issues we need to discuss.
Oh, is that the
Well,
one
we-
Mr. Kelly was mad at me?
Yeah, right, so we
I was touching
discussed this
everybody on video
issue.
chewing?
We're supposed to discuss the issue and bring it back to the councils, all the councils, and tell them what was discussed. Let's go do some work together. No, the council of elected officials put the homeless in a subcommittee and another committee, and then here come the 3 wise guys. Who's getting anything? The way to kill government? You put it in committee. You underfund it or put it in committee, nothing ever gets done. Welcome. We put 10 acres, $4 million on the table. Who here wants 10 acres
Okay.
and $4 million?
The question, and then you have 10 seconds to answer it. If you are reelected, and I'm giving you till January, can you get this thing done where the homeless thing is addressed countywide with all 14 cities, 2 towns, and the county government?
There is probably no way anyone will do that because you have to have the 14
So the answer is
cities
no.
and the 2 towns willing to admit they have a problem, willing to come to the table, and willing to actually do
Okay, so
something
the
the
answer is
county
no.
has been willing to do, which is open up our wallet and say, let's get the problem fixed.
Mr. Davis, the answer is no, is that correct?
I said it's not probable.
Okay.
Nobody will be able to do it.
Thank you. Mr. Kelly, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I can do it, and it's a matter of bringing people together. It's not drawing a line in the sand and said, here's what we're gonna do, and that's it. You've drawn the line in, and you said, this is as far as we're gonna go. It's not really a matter of money, it's $2 per resident to fund it if you had to fund every bit of it. I can find that $1 million and probably 10 times that much in the budget by going through the budget with a fine-tooth comb.
Right.
If you got stuck with it.
If you're doing a zero-based
And
budget.
you wouldn't get stuck with it.
Right, if you're doing a zero-based budget.
Yeah, we do zero-based. And you wouldn't have to do that because you're gonna have the faith-based community. You're gonna have the social services people together. You're gonna have the cities and the private sector all chipping in to fund everything because you're gonna have a leader. And you're gonna have someone who really wants to make a difference and get it done, as opposed to someone who says, we're gonna give 10 acres, $4 million, and that's it. We're not gonna do it. It won't get done that way.
Okay. Tom LaPucca.
Yes.
Greg Gibbert has stole his, Mr. LaPucca, please, gentlemen, please, we're running out of time. Mr. LaPucca, Mr. Gibbert has made it very clear on Facebook that it really, the time has come for significant change on the dais to have a whole new slate of candidates that are like his way of thinking, where there's accountability from his point of view. He says that the beach and everything else wouldn't be as big of an impact on people if the insiders weren't controlling what the county council members do. Do you buy that? Do you think there's some truth to that? Or do you think it's up to each individual candidate who's elected to carry their own way? That makes
Well,
no sense.
it's kind of making sense, but I think that what is, if I was to point out anything that might be lacking on the county council, is their ability to develop policy.
But that's their job, is it not?
I didn't say that's their job, I said that's.
No, that is their
they're not-
job, right?
Possibly, I'm not seeing that.
Right, okay.
It's not. So when Mr. Deneen put forth his, was that a policy statement from the council itself, or was that just coming from the manager as to what he thinks that he could do or should do? I've always questioned that. I don't know if that's a policy statement.
Right.
I've only got to assume that it might be.
Okay.
Don't know that. But if I was the chair, we would certainly, before we uttered anything like that, the responsibility would be, is it policy or is it not? And if it wasn't policy, it would be irresponsible.
Mr. Kelly, following up with Mr. LaPucca's answer, I think it's pretty strong. Is Greg Gibbert right that county government's out of touch and that they're just answering to the big shot, the big wigs that have all the money, and that he needs a clean slate and get rid of them and start over?
I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue clearly goes back to the lack of leadership. And there will be 3 new people on the county council after this election. And you'll have 3 people who can make the decision, set the policy, and have the county manager work at the direction and pleasure of the elected.
Thank you. Jason Davis, you're the incumbent. I think Mr. Kelly was saying there's a lack of leadership. What's your title there now? You're the county chair, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So you're going to take that from him? What's your response? He's saying there's a lack of leadership.
Oh, gee, that's great, wonderful. And,
There's only one county chair.
yeah, we're only one county chair, that's right, and also one vote on the dais. And as far as leadership goes, I've been leading this council for 4 years into situations and trying to fix these problems. You know, when everybody says, oh, we need leadership and consensus, well, it's like this. You gotta have assistance from the other cities, all these cities. Well, I can bring them all together. Well, I brought you together. We sat and tried to discuss this thing long before the millions of dollars and the acreage came out, and it went nowhere. We talked to you about the Votran buses. We said, hey, we want to do this. We need your help. We're $1 million short. How can we work this together? Everybody walked out the room. They come to us, and the only thing they ever wanted was, give me a CRA, give me more tax money. Where's my tax donation for the fuel tax? And, oh, I'm supporting the 1 penny gas tax. That's just coming to us and saying, we need money. Give us money. We don't want to help.
Okay.
But give us money.
Thank you. Tom Lapupka, you've heard from the other 2 gentlemen. You're running to be the next leader, the face of Volusia County government. Do you believe the incumbent is leading this county in that role?
Well,
You're running against him.
What I'm saying is, and what I've said before, I don't believe that there's a lot of policy that's being brought down from the policymakers, and as a result of that, I think that what's going on is a lot of discontented things that take place. And if you bring up the Votran, I believe that was given to us in a meeting on a Monday, possibly at the airport. And I think by Thursday, an announcement was made that we're not cooperating as a cities. So you're starting to breed this we-they thing. And that's the danger zone when you start getting that. Because now it's, you start to head off into the mistrust. You know, I sit on the Florida League of Mayors Board of Directors. I'm with mayors from all over the state. And I find out what they're doing. There are counties that get along exceptionally well with their cities and some that don't.
Okay. We're going to have one last question and then we'll close this because we're out of time. I'll start with you, Mr. Lapupka.
Yep.
And it goes back to the gentleman, and I call him a gentleman, who isn't here, Mr. Gimmer.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Lapupka, Mr. Davis, please. Mr. Lapupka, Mr. Gimbert has left you out of the equation in terms of blame for where the beach has gone wrong, in terms of, if he's not elected, the beach is going to be gone. The access to the beach is going to be gone. All the cars are going to be gone off the beach. But Mr. Gimbert, just early this week, sought the endorsement of Leslie Blackner, who is the attorney for the so-called sea turtle suit. The federal lawsuit 20-something years ago, I don't know if I know it's going to be, a long time ago, that drastically changed, they not only restricted the beach driving, but put in all kinds of clauses with egresses and, based on sea turtle mass, pollution, traffic, and I think to some degree, even though some won't admit it, that the lady Shirley Reynolds and I can't, the other lady, Rita Alexander, that they basically were beach dwellers who wanted their own private beach. And I believe somebody told me that one of them still is here or may have been here and didn't have the private beach after all. With that said, Mr. Gimbert, I'm trying to wrap this up, basically has sought, and she's written a letter to him that the news journal is yet to publish, my understanding, unless they publish it, I missed it, where she's praising Mr. Gimbert. The Sons of the Beach leader, Paul Zimmerman, described Leslie Bisner as a quote-unquote snake, and I'll spell it for you, S-N-A-K-E, snake, not fake or flake, snake. And he basically said that let the should vote. Mr. Gimbert's campaign was a bust, didn't work. What do you think about that thing where Gimbert is saying that Mr. Davis, the incumbent, and Mr. Kelly, who wants to be the next chair, will sell out and continue to give the insiders what they want, and not let the people keep their beach unless he's elected. You agree with that?
Well, I'm a beach driving advocate. I've stated that.
I've seen your picture on Facebook
So
from, what,
I've done
25
that,
years
and,
ago?
I believe in that, and that's how I've always, for 35 years, have used Daytona Beach. It's culturally acceptable. Matter of fact, the culture almost dictates that. It's also an economic driver in itself, and I don't, for the life of me, understand why that's in question.
Mr. Kelly, very briefly, you know the background. Basically, Gimbert is saying, you're not going to do anything to save the beach. Mr. Davis certainly isn't going to do anything to save the beach. We have to have Mr. Gimbert, or the beach is going to be gone.
But then he praises and takes a donation from this attorney and says, taking 15 miles, that's 15 miles of the beach off. Who's taking cars off the beach? He said that was a good thing. So I'm not trying to take the cars off the beach for the turtles. I mean, they had to do that, but I'm not praising that as being good. I didn't like it when they took them off for the turtles. They won't listen to other options of relocating turtles. But anyway, to take the praises of this attorney and take her money,
Ms. Blackman.
Ms. What's it,
Blackman.
to take her money, who's the leader of a failed constitutional amendment in 2010, I think, for hometown democracy, which changes our whole form of government. I mean, that's what you want to do. It's just like he wants to run the county like a neighborhood. I mean, whose neighborhood? Mine, his, yours.
Well, Jason Davis and...
So that's what is going to accomplish the whole thing.
Right.
I don't gotta quit.
And Jason Davis, you know, in the annals of Volusia County's modern times, I think of the execution of Aileen Wuornos. I think of John Cannon getting booted out of office because he wanted to see everybody's receipts for when they were renting adult films from bookstore, video stores. How does this compare with the beach, with these two ladies and that attorney drastically reducing the beach driving, and now the guy who led the way to try to change that now aligning himself with her? And he's calling you a hypocrite, and that you need to be booted out of office.
That's right. And at least I didn't go to the Sons of the Beaches and say, hey, I need your help. Give me your lawyer. Let's fight this game. You know, let's go sue the county. Sue the county. They sued us 4 times and lost all 4 times because it's unconstitutional. Number 1. Number 2, believe me, folks, if Volusia County government or the council said, I don't want cars on the beach, this Thursday would be taken care of. There would be no cars on the beach. Because this council and I say, leave the damn beach alone, the cars are staying where they are. Believe me, you have till March 7th of next year for the Weston Inn to be completed, or the cars do not come off the beach.
And how long of a distance are we talking between those two in terms of mileage?
It's like about a mile. But you also have until December 31st of 2018 for the Hard Rock to be complete, or nothing happens. And when I say complete, entire listing of the ordinance must be followed to the letter, or nothing happens. And believe me, I drove by everything. I really don't see it
And to
happening.
be clear with all 3 gentlemen on the front table here, the whole principle of Gimbert's rallying cry was let Volusia vote, that have the citizens take it to
Vote a referendum.
a referendum. Wait, hold on, a vote
But guess what?
referendum.
They get to vote
Let me
now.
finish. A vote a referendum, but the courts are very clear, based on state statutes, we have a representative form of government, and that's why we elect people to the council. Would all 3 of you agree with that?
Yeah.
So I don't know how many lawsuits can be filed and appeals.
I don't know how many there are. 5 so far. We took them in for just judicial review. I never sued anybody, the county never sued anybody. We took them in for judicial review, it failed, and then the 4 lawsuits from Mr.
And
Gimbert.
your question was to believe in that form of government.
Right.
Now, that form of government also has the option to send things out that they don't want to make decisions on.
Right.
They can send them out for referendum. I want to clarify.
Yeah, they could, if they wanted to. They could make that, but they
There's no
could.
sales tax.
Okay.
But then you have the